Section 10 almost sounds like a top secret location in Las Vegas, doesn't it? I actually lived there for 2 years. I'll reveal my personal experience and everything you need to know about living in Section 10. Let's get into it. Section 10 is comprised of over 640 acres, and it's called Section 10 because that's what it's called on the map. The area is about 1 mile long and is bordered by Desert Inn, Buffalo, Sahara, and Rainbow Boulevard. Section 10 is conveniently located about a few miles from Summerlin and the Las Vegas Strip, so it's right in the center. The general vibe of the area is large custom estates. You'll see homes ranging from 3,000 square feet all the way up to 15,000 square feet, and some even more than that probably. What's really cool is these homes sit on at least a half acre, some going up to 3 acres. A lot of people move to this community because they want to be located near Summerlin and maybe work on the Strip and want a custom home with a large yard and unique features. Why I moved to Section 10. When I moved to Las Vegas, I moved here from Bangkok, Thailand. I'd lived there for 3 years, and my husband and I decided to move back to America. While looking on Zillow, we were very confused at all the different prices, all the different areas, and all the different homes. So when we landed, we checked into a hotel and got working. We met with a local real estate agent and went all over the valley. I think we saw over 40 homes. It was literally like a blackout marathon of showings. I don't even remember half the homes we saw. My husband actually tells me, "Courtney, do you remember this home?" And I'm like, I really don't. And that's something I wish that we had done more research on different locations and different things like that. My expectation before moving back to Las Vegas was what most people's expectations are. If you've only been to the Las Vegas Strip, you only know the large casinos, the huge high-rises, the sexy restaurants, the cocktail bars, the lounges, and of course the gambling and tons of shopping. I didn't really know what to expect coming out to the residential areas in the different neighborhoods. While researching on Zillow, we just saw prices everywhere, homes everywhere. My husband and I really relied on our real estate agent to help us decide on a community and a location because we really didn't know anything about the area. Unfortunately, we did not have that experience. So that is one big reason why I became a real estate agent. I truly enjoy helping families and couples and people find that aligned location for their community, for their hobbies, and for what they're looking for out of Las Vegas and Henderson. So we didn't know very much. We drove around to all the homes we sent her on Zillow and checked them all out. We were trying to figure out the pricing here in Las Vegas because it's very confusing. Why is one home $500,000 and the other one is $2 million and they're pretty much the same house? Really, it's due to the location, but we didn't really understand that at that time. We ended up picking this home because of our dog. Our real estate agent said she found a home that looked like a pretty good deal, so we decided to check it out. My dog got out of the car and he literally tore us through the had to put our thumbprint on it to make it home. My first week was doing all that research. We ended up replacing and redoing the paint, the carpet, we changed out some flooring, we updated the doors and put more solid doors in. We did the baseboards to modernize the home. We changed out the stone in the main living areas, and we changed out some light fixtures and a couple other items. This was a huge project and a huge undertaking, but we had to do it to make it our home. These homes were built in the 90s. A lot of people love this area and love their homes so much, they don't move until they absolutely have to. So a lot of them are stuck in that 90s scenery. They have beautiful features, beautiful things, but not really the style and taste of today. My reality of doing all these projects and living in this neighborhood was it was gonna be a nightmare. And it actually turned out to be okay and pretty easy. Because I wasn't familiar with the area, thank goodness for Google Maps, I was able to find the closest Trader Joe's and Whole Foods. And my first month was really just exploring the area, seeing what was there, seeing where the nearest gym was because health and fitness was so important to us, and just getting acclimated to being back in the States and being in the area. The community itself was very welcoming. We actually got invited to an ice cream soiree right when we moved there. There was a lot of little community events within Section 10 and within our community of 10 Oaks Estates. Because our community was about 70 homes, walking around the community, there was a lot of people outside waving, a lot of people walking their dogs. So it was really easy to just meet the neighbors and get a vibe for the community, the neighborhood. So within Section 10, there's a couple of different neighborhoods. A couple of them are gated. There's a handful of guard-gated neighborhoods. And then there's actually a new community by Blue Heron called Prado. They are already building. There's actually a couple homes already built, and I believe they're almost sold out. So that's gonna be your standard Blue Heron, modern, very beautiful home within Section 10. So they have larger half-acre lots, and some of them even have Las Vegas Strip views. But many of the homes, again, built in the 90s, you have European homes, you have modern homes, you have really just a huge mix of different types of architecture and even different sizes of homes. Some homes are on the smaller side with huge lots, some are on the larger side. It's really a mishmash and a mix. The neighborhood amenities, there aren't very many amenities within Section 10. The general location is what makes this area so awesome. Between Section 10 and Summerlin, you have Boca Park, which has Target, Whole Foods, dry cleaner. It has all of your daily conveniences and necessities. There's also North Italia and Flower Child. They have Blue Mercury, which is like a higher end Sephora. There's just so many conveniences right there, just a few stoplights away. If you go up a little bit further, then you have downtown Summerlin. So being in that location, you have all of that towards the mountain and so much to do between restaurants, local eateries, grocery stores, enjoying just walking around and shopping at Macy's or Sephora. Demographics. Many people have lived in their homes since they built them. But as times have changed and maybe they've become empty nesters, or maybe they have this huge home that they can no longer take care of, we are seeing a lot more homes come to market and these people moving to other states or downsizing. As that happens, people are moving into these homes, putting the blue bin out and remodeling them and refreshing them. Now that's something we did. That's something my neighbor around the corner did when we lived there. You're just seeing these types of things happen as the times have gone on. So it's really exciting. You are seeing young families come in and just really be excited about being near the school district, but also having that huge yard. If we haven't met yet, my name is Courtney Bentley, and I'm a luxury real estate agent here in Las Vegas and Henderson. I offer a concierge service to take the headache out of moving to my favorite city, Las Vegas. Now let's move on. Day-to-day life. So my day-to-day life in Section 10 was really just getting up, getting myself together. I had a home office, so I would get everything organized. Then I would head to Lifetime Fitness, get my workout in, come home, get ready, maybe run to Whole Foods on my way home or Trader Joe's off Buffalo to get some food or snacks for the day. And then I would get set for my day. Now, if I had appointments in Summerlin or on a high rise on the Strip, it was so easy. I didn't worry about anything. If I had to go to Henderson or Southern Highlands or even Lake Las Vegas, it was definitely a day and a plan. It would take me 40 to 50 minutes to get to the other side of town. And the reason is because I was not near a freeway entrance. Here in Las Vegas and Henderson, if you are near the 215, you are literally in the artery of Las Vegas. That's what I like to call it. You can get on the freeway, you can get anywhere in 30 minutes at the most. Now, if you're not on the freeway, which you aren't if you're in Section 10, you gotta go either up north, down south, you gotta find your closest freeway to get on to get where you need to go. So that was definitely a headache. I always prayed I didn't have to go to Henderson or Lake Las Vegas that day. And funny thing, I moved to Henderson, but that's a whole nother video and a whole nother story. Sometimes I would meet my friends at the Rampart Commons. We'd have dinner at North Italia or drinks. I'd go for coffee a lot of times at Cafe Leon at Boca Park, Tivoli Village. We'd go to Echo and Rig, which is a great local spot for steaks. We go to downtown Summerlin often on the weekends for farmers markets or just to see my friends or go shopping. So there's so much to do in that area. Another fun thing is nearby there's a community called The Lakes. And the lakes at Christmas time is absolutely magical. A lot of people who live on the lake decorate their homes. If you're lucky enough to have a friend that lives on the lake, they have a boat which you can take out and check them all out. That's really spectacular and special. Another local spot I love that was super close is in Desert Shores. Desert Shores is another community nearby to Section 10 that has restaurants on the lake. And my favorite is Marché Baku. They have a beautiful wine selection. It's a French restaurant. They have gorgeous salads, gorgeous scenery. You literally feel like you are whisked away and taken away from your hustle bustle Las Vegas lifestyle. So those are two spots that are really special and super close to Section 10. Pros and cons. Let's talk about the cons first. Cons of living in Section 10. Now, having a large yard is a huge pro, and a lot of people love that about Section 10. But the con is your water bill is gonna be a lot more expensive. And recently they have put in a system where if you go over a certain amount of gallons used, they start doubling there's like a fine that gets attached to that number, and it doubles and it triples as you go. So if you have a ton of grass you have to take care of, that bill is gonna be really high. The other thing is you're gonna have to have a landscaper come and take care of everything, and tree trimmers, and make sure everything is vibrant and doing well in our desert climate. So that's definitely a con. Something we did to change that around is we did the desert scape in the front of our home. We did the Water Smart program, we got our rebate. Fantastic, saved us a ton of money. And the front of our house always looked perfect. Another con is a lot of the community in Section 10 is no HOA. So you are gonna have some homes that have graffiti art. There's one that's very famous on Instagram that's all over the place where this owner does different graffiti art every season, I think, or every quarter, and they kind of turn their house into this party house. So being in a non-HOA area within Section 10, you are gonna come across some things that an HOA community would not have. Some people don't care. Some people actually like not having an HOA and having, a bird in the sky, making sure that everything is, top tier condition. But that is something that you're gonna have to consider if Section 10 is on your radar. Another con is not having a freeway entrance nearby. If you wanna go to Henderson with ease, it's gonna take you 40 to 45 minutes easily. So that's because you have to get to the freeway entrance, which it can be, trafficy on Sahara at different times. You have to find back ways to get places. That can be a huge inconvenience. Now, if you work or you need to be in the Summerlin area, it's great. If you work on the Strip or you need to be going to the Strip often or the airport, it's great. But if you're trying to get to Henderson from this location, it can be a really huge inconvenience. Now the pros of living in this area, you don't have a secondary HOA. You may have a small HOA if you live in a HOA community within Section 10, where your HOA is gonna be relatively low. And that's because you don't have the extra master plan association fee that Summerlin has. Another thing to consider that's a pro is, again, location. You're super close to Summerlin, you're super close to the Strip, but you get a custom home with a yard, a real yard. Another pro is it is kind of fun to drive through these different neighborhoods and see character. A lot of times I have people relocating to Las Vegas and they say to me, Courtney, all these neighborhoods are so cookie cutter. Everything looks the same, or there's a little bit of a variance every 4 homes. Section 10, there is nothing that's the same. It is all custom and all unique in each and every way. Pop quiz, true or false? Does Section 10 have opportunity to buy and build a custom home? The first person to answer correctly will get a shout out from me. Community. Something I loved about this area is my community, especially in 10 Oaks Estates, there's about 70 homes in there. The HOA president did a lot to bring the community together, and I walked a lot, so I met my neighbors. It was really nice knowing my neighbors, and it was something I really enjoyed. Another thing is the farmers market at downtown Summerlin. You'll see a lot of local people there. You'll see some of the same people there. So it's a great way to feel that sense of community. The lakes, like I mentioned, with the special Christmas, and just overall, there's a lot of local restaurants and eateries with different clubs and things to do. Things I wish I knew before I moved. Something we discovered was buying a home that was built in the 90s and partially flipped, but not all the way, was our home had a lot of major appliances we had to replace. The refrigerator, the air conditioning, the insulation in the home. We even had a huge incident where the contractors who were fixing up the home put a lot of debris into the shower drain. And I took a long shower when we first moved. I was like moving and I just wanted to take a long shower. And literally the entire ceiling above the kitchen, which the shower was above, leaked like rained because they had clogged the pipes. It was a nightmare. So definitely getting a very thorough inspection with an inspector who's been a contractor in the past is something I would highly encourage. I would definitely get a roof inspection and an AC inspection because these homes were built in the 90s. They're just older. Another thing to think about is a lot of times these homes had contractors and builders that were building from different states. I sold a home one time that had an architect and a builder and a contractor come from the East Coast to build this home. So that's some really unique features. Lots of brick, which was awesome, wood floors, which is very rare here in Vegas. But a lot of things to consider, especially if you're moving from another state. You need to make sure you have a thorough inspection so you know what you're gonna need to replace, sooner than later. You know what the house is about. You know the insides and the outsides because it's not a typical production home where it's kind of cut and dry. So that's definitely something you're gonna wanna consider. Another thing is being in that area, you're not close to the freeway. So if you're trying to get to work, you definitely want to map that out during rush hour to make sure that not being near a freeway isn't an issue for you. So overall, I loved living in Section 10. I loved being close to Summerlin and being close to the action on the strip without having to be, in that action. I got my beautiful half-acre yard with lots of area for my dogs to run around and my beautiful custom home for a fraction of the cost of the custom homes in Summerlin. So something to consider if you're thinking about moving here. For more videos about relocation and high-rise living, check out my videos above. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.